Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Mr. Chester Deanes Jr., and we'll be talking about youth today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and Chester Deanes is my guest, Chester Deanes Jr.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Chester? Welcome
I'm
back.
fine today. How about yourself, Mr. Hayes?
Fine. Chester, who are you representing? What group, what organization?
Well, my organization is Fathers United to Raise Awareness and Futura, F-U-T-R-A. And really, Bernie, it has a history because I'm the former executive vice president with the Fathers and Family Support Center.
Right.
And there was a time in reference to, shall we say, criminal non-support and child support and judgments of paternity, the fathers was having issues with that. And as I had shared with the CEO, Mr. Halbert Sullivan, we need to advocate for policy change here in the state. So he said, okay, Mr. Deanes, you take it and run with it. And in 2002, I started recruiting the men out of the agency as well as an evening component called Fathers Rap. And so in making relationships with the legislators in Jefferson City, Juanita Head Walton, Robin Wright Jones, there was a number of them.
Sure.
And legislation came about through Jeff Smith, who extracted some information from Representative Juanita Head Walton for criminal non-support in 2008. 2009, we were going to the Capitol, recruiting the fathers. They gave testimony at certain hearings. Legislation was passed through Governor, I forget the governor's name now, but anyway, it was 2009, and he signed the bill. Senate Bill 140 was modified in criminal non-support, which is child support. And Senate Bill 141 was modified in judgments of paternity. So that's how the ball really got started with that. And after I retired, of course, I kept my nonprofit. I retired in 2017, and today I'm active with the YWCA Head Start, Early Head Start, working with the fathers in reference to what they call the male involvement program. And it's one thing I have to say, man, these fathers are active with their children and they're engaged. You can see how the children react to them, you know, while they're together. In April 15th, we had an event called Dads Building Toolboxes with Their Children.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it was during the day, and one of the partners for the male involvement program is the Mid-American Carpenters. And they agreed to have these little sample pieces of wood, real soft pine, with small hammers. The little kids put on their little protective glasses, and they helped their fathers build these small little toolboxes that they could take home. And then to see that activity, to increase that, it's the bonding that a dad has with his child that really makes a difference, because they're never going to forget that.
Sure.
You know.
Do you think Mr. Sullivan, Albert, could envision what you're doing now?
Yes, he could, because there's one thing about that man, he already had that vision, and he helped to place it in me. But at the same time, much of my vision came from my parents and my grandparents, because they always promoted being responsible and self-sufficient.
I was going to ask you that, Mr. Deanes. How did you become the person that you are now? Why did you become involved in trying to save men, especially African-American men, and bond them with their families?
Well, here again, we all have a story.
Yeah.
My youngest and I, the mother and I parted. And the mother, she didn't want to understand that I still am going to be involved with our daughter. It's not your daughter or my daughter, it's our daughter.
Sure.
And so I had to continue to work with her when my youngest was even in elementary school. And she didn't want me to pick her up, and have my visits on the weekends or whatever. And that's because she was influenced by other things.
Sure.
And advice coming from her husband-to-be, and also some of her family. But at any rate, my mother already had put that in me. She said, you just got to be consistent with your behavior and take care of your daughter. Keep your paperwork. See, a father has to have a paper trail in this state, saying that, you know, okay, he took her to dance classes, he's paid his child support, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I did all of that, you know. I did all of that at an early age.
Sure.
Because when we were living in the Pruitt-Igoe projects, my mother showed that to me. Then my grandfather, when I would go to Mississippi in Cliftonville, he showed it to me again. And then the men that came into my life, like Pops, Ernest E. Jordan Jr., and my next door neighbor, Mr. Booker T. Robinson, at 502, apartment 502 at 2210 Cass, he was like a father to me. Wow. You see?
So all these values were built up inside you?
Yeah, and that's what happens. Yeah. And even when you want to stray, Bernie, you said, nah, you know better than this. And you check yourself.
Sure.
And that's one of the things in class I would share with me. I said, sometimes you just got to sit with yourself. And the question is this working for you? Is it really working for you? And if not, go back to the values that you got from your mother, father, your grandfather, your uncle, or your aunts, and practice it.
Chester, you showed me how much you loved your family.
Right.
But you could have gone on and done something else. You didn't have to try to save others. You didn't have to try to unite others. You didn't have to try to save these young men. You didn't have to tell them, it's your responsibility to take care of your children. Yes, what instilled you in that?
Well, that's because I'm really family orientated. And it's not all just about me going and do this, because you make a valid point. I'm a former retired professional model. And once I got into voiceovers, I could have continued that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did not because of what I seen. You know, when you look into these little children's faces, that joy right there is so beautiful. And it perpetuates me to keep doing what I'm doing, you know. That's the main thing, man. Even for the littlest grandson that I have right now, you know, he reminds me a lot of the reasons. Now, the older one, he's 14, and you can see he's in that rites of passage thing where he's trying to make identification of which way to go and leave some of that boyhood, play stuff along and get serious. So, but it all keeps the joy in me, you know, and that's what keeps me going. You know, we come from good stock, Bernie, and I want to stay right there and perpetuate that, because when these young men understand, and adult men, because some of them are grandfathers, they bring their children to the Head Start, early Head Start. And so when they get to, that bonding helps with what you call social and emotional development. And they're going to need that in school, outside of school, when they go to high school, college, because it's really about interacting with others and, you know, just being a good person, that's all. You
know, even when you're in the father's group, the adult group, I saw you and Mr. Sullivan. I mean, your passion was really for these kids, man, and some of these kids are kind of bad actors. Yes, sir. And you straighten them out.
Yes, sir. Well, there are a lot of kids that are bad actors, but who did they get that from?
Yeah, okay.
They probably got it from their parents. Or they probably got it from anyone in the neighborhood that they've seen. Because even with the home values, the environmental issues, Dr. Manny Marable has a book on that, about how your environment enhances your social and emotional development, as well as your parental guidance and morals and principles that you get in the home.
Yeah. Yeah. Kwanzaa Kunjufu just
passed. Yes, sir.
Passed away.
Yeah.
Kind of the
conspiracy against black boys.
Conspiracy against black.
Yes, sir.
Children. So we're going to miss him too.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a short break here. Chester Deanes is my guest, and we're going to be talking about other things that's happening with him. But in the meantime, I'd like to remind you that you're being brought this program through the New Life Evangelistic Center with 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And Reverend Larry Rice, who is the founder, has been here more than 53 years helping those in need. And we still need your help and support. And you may give us a call at 314-421-3020 well, come by 2428 Woodson Road, Overland, Missouri, 63114. Back with Chester Deans Jr. after this.
Since 1972, New Life Evangelistic Center has been on the front lines, reaching out, helping the hurting, the homeless, the fatherless, the widowed throughout mid-America. Yes, although it's had its roots in St. Louis, it now has expanded throughout mid-America into India and Africa, Haiti, and other places around the world. Oh, what a history New Life Evangelistic Center has. And we have many of these history books available to you, and they're right there on Amazon. And if we can help you get one of those, you contact us at 314-421-3020. But in addition to all that, we want to share a lot of that history with you right here as we take a look at how the work began and how the Lord has taken us throughout the years and the miracles that we have seen, all because of caring people like you. You're part of the history of the New Life Evangelistic Center. And we're believing that 2025 is the year that the center is going to become alive and seeing the Lord do exceedingly beyond we can even ask or think. We're on the verge of miracles. Yes, New Life Evangelistic Center has a rich history, but there's much more yet to come. And that's why I'm inviting you to familiarize yourself with the history of the past and be a part of the miracles of the present. Yes, let the Lord God Almighty work in you and through you. Let Him do exceedingly beyond what you can ask or think. He's got a purpose for you. And we want you to be able to live out that purpose as you get directly involved in the history of New Life Evangelistic Center and what the Lord is doing now.
Today's subject, Sister Soldier. Born in the Bronx, New York, and raised in the projects, Soldier's a fighter who came up from the bottom. A graduate of Rutgers University, she earned a degree in American History and American Studies. She also attended the Cornell University Advanced Placement Study Program and studied abroad in Europe at the University of Salamanca. A global student, Sister Soldier traveled throughout her college years to England, France, Spain, Portugal, Finland, and Russia. Her academic accomplishments were reinforced with her first-hand experiences. As a community activist, Soldier organized against racially motivated crimes, police brutality, and the miseducation of urban youth. She produced and promoted several outdoor rallies and concerts in Harlem, New York, which drew nearly 30,000 youth. Sister Soldier, our subject for today.
When you partner with New Life Evangelistic Center, you impact so many people. The economy in this country is really hurting so many all over. And we're seeing the number of people who are experiencing homelessness rise. You can make a difference today by giving your gift online at newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. Make a real big change in the lives of so many.
Welcome back. My guest is Chester Deans Jr. And Chester, you mentioned that junior. You make sure that you have that junior on there. Tell us about Chester Hines.
Well,
Chester Deans.
Well, my father's name is Chester A. Deans.
Yeah.
And I kept it, to add some clarity between the two of us because as much as he's my biological father, we are definitely different individuals that came out the same stock.
Sure.
So it's Chester A. Deans Jr. I don't have an issue with it. I have some Islamic friends years ago that kind of advised me to change my name, but I never have. I'm going to roll with it, man.
Sure.
Until I leave this earth.
That's great.
Right. Yes, sir.
So tell us about the YMCA, your affiliation with them.
Yeah, I'm with the YWCA.
YWCA.
Yeah. Well, in essence, even when I was at the agency, the Father Support Center, many events that I had, I would invite the YWCA in because of their early Head Start programs to provide the resources of early education for the fathers and the mothers' children.
Okay.
And we've been partners, it's right at 21, 22 years. And after I retired, though, in 2017, I had a couple of MOUs with certain organizations, and so I finally had a chance to talk to the CPO, the Chief Project Officer of the YWCA Head Start, Early Head Start, and she wanted to just improve her male involvement program. So we started talking in 24. I came on as a consultant in September of 2024. And what I do is, there are 11 sites along with child care partners, and I visit the sites and let them know that I am the male involvement consultant, and if fathers have issues that maybe you don't have a resource for, this is the site manager that I'm talking to now, because when they come through the site manager's in the building besides the parent educator. See, this whole Head Start program is so important for delivering early education. But at any rate, that's how I got involved. And I was also, shall we say, she asked me, she said, so you want to do a dad's conference? So the dad's conference is scheduled this year, June the 6th. And then we'll have it at the O'Fallon Park Rec Center from 8:30 to 2. And we'll have the June 7th is the Family Day event where the dads, the moms, and the children will come out. We'll be in Delwood Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's June 6th.
June 6th and June the 7th. Yes.
Okay. Chester, are there any certain age groups that you're working with at this YWCA program?
Well, now, for the fathers specifically, most of them are like early 20s. Then you got some mid 30s. And then you got the grandfathers. Some of them are in the 50s. And then there's one great grandfather. Okay? But then as far as the mother parents go, most of them are, 25 to 30. They're younger. And what I enjoy about interacting with them, once you get their attention and they realize that I'm committed about this, they understand and they respond properly. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And here lately, when I visit the sites, I make sure after they drop their children off and they walk out the door, how you doing today, ma'am? My name is, I introduce myself, and many of them have heard about what's going on in June, and they may or may not have signed and registered so we could have a good head count. But once they realize that it's a benefit, come out and have a bonding event. It's no cost, We're going to sponsor this event, and I got a great speaker coming from Louisville, Kentucky, for the Dads Conference. It's called Dedication 24/7 for the dads on June the 6th. Dedication 24/7. So around the clock.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight my guest speaker. He and I met down at the CDC back in 2008. His organization in Louisville is called 2 Not 1, the number 2, not 1, Fatherhood and Families.
Okay.
And he's the president.
Wow.
And he just got his doctorates 3 years ago. He's sharp as a whip like you, Mr. Burnett. He's
like
sharp.
Me, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's sharp.
You're very kind.
Yeah.
Well, Chester, a couple of things I want to ask you about. First of all, I've known you for many years. And you keep saying you retired in 2017, but you haven't dropped a stitch, man. Why do you keep saying you're retired?
Well, that's because I don't clock in every day.
Okay, but that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
You
and
haven't slowed down.
I don't want to clock in.
You haven't slowed down any.
No, but I haven't slowed down. And getting back to our roots, Bernie, when I seen my grandfather and them in Cliftonville working like this every day except for Sunday, that put it right in me, man.
Yeah.
And then living in the Pruitt-Igoe projects, our biological father left us, but my mother had 2 jobs, okay? And I was the oldest. And she made sure, she told me at the age of 9, she said, son, these are the expectations I have, I'm going to be out of the house working, then I got to go to school, but you have Carolyn, Yolanda, Lester, and Cedric, okay? And I want to make sure that they get what they need to go to school, and you get them back home, and we'll do this over and over again. She says, these are my expectations, and I want you to be responsible and take care of it. So I really don't have an alternative, Bernie. It's kind of built into me.
That was instilled, right?
Exactly, at an early age.
Okay.
And this past weekend, we had the Pruitt-Igoe Historical Accountability Compensation Truth-Seeking Program to walk to the historical marker on Cass Avenue near 20th to represent the Pruitt I go, 50 years ago plus.
Sure, yeah.
We had the ceremony at St. Stanislaus on the inside, and then we walked to the marker and had some good families there.
Like a reunion, yeah.
It was like a reunion, but we had some legislators there. People from the CDA, St. Louis came out, and a couple of alderpersons, and it's going to be good. We're pushing the fact that, in North St. Louis, I don't know if are you familiar with this about the spraying of the zinc cadmium
certainly,
sulfide?
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going to work with a couple of legislators, hopefully, so that they can open up the research on this and make the government accountable.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Then people finally realized what was happening to them, so they take an action. Finally get some action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And how can I reach you, Chester?
You can reach me at my telephone number is 314-210-1005, and my email is lowercase Deno, Deano, at Deano 6448 @gmail.com.
Okay.
I don't have a website right now because, like I said, I don't want that kind of capacity. I got enough information out there through the YWCA.
They can call you.
Oh, they can call me. It's no worries. I don't have an issue with that. As long as the person's, respectful on the telephone, man. You get so many people. You got all kind of callers today.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Chester Dean is my guest, and we're talking about some wonderful things that he's doing, and we want you to participate in them also. Also, don't forget now, we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, and we need your help and support also. 2428 Woodson Road, Overland, Missouri, 63114. Back with Chester Deans after this.
Behind me is the New Life Evangelistic Center administrative offices in Overland, Missouri. And this is where we shoot our shows for our worship shows and the Here's Help Network. And it's also where Zakid Baroudi and Bernie Hayes shoot their shows. You can find all of these shows at the New Life Evangelistic Center app, the NLEC TV app. You can also access them on your tablet or on your computer. And this is how you can stay up to date with all the things that New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. There are so many different programs that we've got going on, and God is doing many exciting things through partners like you. So if you want to support the work that New Life is doing, then please access and give through the app. You can go online at nlecstl.org or give us a call at 314-421-3020. Again, 314-421-3020. But this is the best way to get plugged into the amazing work that New Life is doing through people like you. And so there is something for you to get involved in today. And we are so thankful for our partners. Only through the grace of God and your gift are we able to bless others today.
Instead of building more walls, as believers, we need to break through the walls and let the rivers of living water begin to flow within us. Walls being built, then churches. So many moving into a political direction rather than a godly direction. So many interjecting the politics here, there, and everywhere. And most of the time it's walls that are separating us from people who do not have the resources we might have, people who don't have different colored skin. All of this takes place, and it's so grieving to God. Let's break through the walls through the power of our resurrected Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Remember James, first chapter, last verse, this is true and perfect religion, to keep oneself unstained from the world. Remember the fatherless and widow in their affliction? Sums up the need for morality and justice in our individual lives. So instead of building more walls, let's allow the walls to be broken down, and let's let the love of God flow through us into the lives of the hurting and needy at this critical hour.
Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Chester Deans Jr. And we're talking about youth and his programs, so many different programs he's involved in. Chester, is anything we didn't talk about that you want to talk about?
Well, I want to also share that there's another organization that I facilitate, and it's called the Haven of Grace. I facilitate a program, it's parenting for the pregnant mothers. Mm-hmm. And many of these mothers, when they come into the class and they're 6 week pregnant, sometimes It's their first birth. Many of them have issues with choosing the right lifestyles. And it's at 13th and Warren in the city of St. Louis.
13th and Warren.
13th and Warren.
Warren. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Downtown. And Mrs. Patricia Bosman is the CEO.
Okay.
She had a fundraiser the other day at the Missouri Athletic Club and a luncheon to continue her mission to bring awareness to the Haven of Grace and the hundreds of mothers that they support for, you know, personal development, taking care of their children, the parenting, and employment. At 13th and Warren, they have a residence space for the mothers, but once they matriculate through the program, social and emotional development, personal development, getting employed, on the campus, they have apartments for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful space at the Haven of Grace.
The Haven of Grace.
Yeah, the Haven of Grace. Yes, sir.
Now, she's also married to one of the Bosman twins.
Yes, she is. Right. Yeah, yeah. And,
Patricia, yeah.
They both are doing well, and it's good to see because I have a relationship with her 30 years ago, and of course with the Bosmans, we can always go back to the little nightclub on, what is it, Warney?
Moose.
The Moose.
Moose Lounge, yeah. Yeah, Newstead.
Newstead, boy, man, yeah. So St. Louis has got a great history in reference to jazz musicians as well. So you already know that, though.
So what's in the future for Chester Deanes?
What's in the future? I'm going to stay active. I'm going to embrace my family, travel when I can. I got persons, one of my great nephew, he has been, shall we say, drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. We're celebrating that.
Oh, wow.
My daughter just had her birthday. You know, I got to get to Houston to visit my oldest daughter and friends. So that's what's in the makings for me, man. And God is good. That's all I got to say.
How can we reach you again, Chester?
You can reach me by giving me a telephone call at 314-210-1005. And my email is Deano, DEANO, 6448 @gmail.com. I'm also working with my church, Union Memorial United Methodist Church.
Really
It's
located?
at Belt and Bartmer in the city. You're free to come out and worship any Sunday between 10 a.m. Any Sunday, 10 a.m. The Reverend Dr. Antonio Settles is the pastor there.
Wonderful.
And if you remember, it's got a history. Are you familiar with John Doggett?
Certainly.
That's right.
Dr. John Doggett.
Dr. John Doggett.
Bill Doggett's brother.
Bill Doggett. That's right. Wild Bill Doggett. Yeah.
Right.
I see you know your history.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah. So I'm going to keep on surviving, and I appreciate you having me out today, Bernie, to be on the show. And you and your wonderful National Black Radio Hall of Fame down on the campus of Harris Stowe State U. You're doing a wonderful job.
we're trying. Thank you so much,
Yes, sir.
Chester. I just imagine, just honored and thrilled that you're here doing what you're doing and continually, does not continually, continuously do.
Yes, sir.
Because there's never been a break in it. And it's just amazing.
Well, it feeds my soul and my spirit, you know. And I was told that joy is the key of life, and I want to keep as much as I can.
Well, you're certainly proving that. Yeah. Once again, I want to know how to reach you, the phone number and your website and email.
Yes, sir. You all may reach me at 210, area code 314-210-1005. This is Fathers United to Raise Awareness. We also advocate for policy change here in the state of Missouri. My email is DEANO6448 @gmail.com.
Chester Deanes Jr., thank you so much for being with us, my brother.
And thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Yes, sir, brother. I appreciate you.
And let me say this too. Thank you for all the support you've given me. I appreciate that
Yes,
so
sir.
much. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. We're going to continue in that vein.
I love it. Thank you all for viewing and supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. And thank you for supporting me also. We'll be here every day supporting you. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a good day.